Hey guys, this is part 2 of Pythagorean theorem, and this time we're going to learn how you can find the third side if you're given the hypotenuse and one leg. You'll also learn how to decide if a triangle is right, acute, or obtuse based on the side lengths. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the first one here. Now remember, our Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we have to go ahead and plug in our different values. Now, our hypotenuse, which in this case is 12, will always go in your c squared, and your leg can either go in a squared or b squared. It really doesn't matter. Okay, but this time we'll put it in a squared. So let's plug them in. So we have 4 squared, and we do not know b squared yet, and that equals our c squared, which is 12 squared. So let's go ahead and reduce what we have. We have 4 squared, which is 16. We have b squared left, and we have 12 squared, which is 144. Okay, so let's go ahead and reduce each one. We got to subtract 16 on both sides, which would give us b squared equals 128. And then remember last time, to undo a square, you have to take the square root on both sides. So if you did that, b would end up equaling 11.3. Now the question asked if the side lengths formed a Pythagorean triple. Well, you had 12, 4, and 11.3, but to be a triple you have to have 3 whole positive numbers. And since this is not a whole number, this is not a Pythagorean triple. Okay, let's try one more of those. Let's do 3b. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in our numbers into our a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we have a hypotenuse. We know that goes in the c. And we have one leg, and we can throw that in our a. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve that. If you take 24 times 24, that's going to give you 576 plus b squared. And then you can take 26 times 26, and that gives us 676. Okay, now it's just a matter of reducing. So let's undo this positive 576 by subtracting 576 on both sides. Those 576's cancel, and then we have b squared equals 100. And we, of course, know that the square root of 100 would give us 10. Okay, so since you have sides of 24, 26, and 10, they're all positive whole numbers, this is, yes, it is a Pythagorean triple. And we're going to skip this guy. We're not going to do him today. All right, last thing that you're going to learn is how to decide if a triangle is obtuse, if it's right, or if it's acute. Okay, so the first theorem we're going to learn is called the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. Right here. And it says, if the sum of the squares, sum keyword, of the squares of the lengths of two sides of a triangle is equal to the square of the length of the third side, then the triangle is a right triangle. So basically, if you take the length of each of your side lengths and square them, and it's equal to the hypotenuse's square, then you know that it is a right triangle. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at it. Okay, forgot we need to learn one more theorem, and this one's called the Pythagorean inequality theorem. Okay, now if you take the side lengths and you square them, and you take the hypotenuse and you square them, and the hypotenuse is greater than your side lengths, then it's going to be an obtuse triangle. And if the square of your hypotenuse is less than the sum of your side lengths squared, then it's going to be acute. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure these out real quick. This first one says classify the triangle with following side lengths as acute, obtuse, or right. Now we know that the hypotenuse is going to be your longest side, so we know that 10 squared is 100, and we have to take the sum of these two guys squared. So we have 5 squared plus 7 squared, so that would equal 5 squared is 25, 7 squared is 49, so if we add those up, you're going to end up getting 74. So, since 100 is greater than 74, excuse me, you know that it's going to be an obtuse triangle because the sum of your hypotenuse squared is greater than the sum of your side lengths squared. Let's try another one. Okay, so this time we want to do the same thing. So let's take 11 squared. And 11 squared is going to equal 121. And we have to add to that the length of 8 squared. And 8 squared is 64. So if we take 121 plus 64, that's going to give us, what, 185? And then, of course, you can take 13 squared, that's our hypotenuse, and then 13 squared is 169. And since your hypotenuse, 169, is less than 185, that's going to give you a acute triangle. Okay, so if you go ahead and follow through with the next two, you'll probably see one that is one that's going to be a right triangle. Okay, but just know the two rules and you should be fine with both of those. See ya.